Agent Hazard here. Like always, we got Mark Hamill. Let's just get into it, check it out, see what it's all about. Let's hope it's good. There it goes. Okay.
Hamill here, and we find ourselves facing challenges like we've never seen
Corona
before. But I have to tell you, I'm finding so much inspiration in the compassionate, courageous, and selfless fans in our Star Wars family.
So many of you have stepped up to help, especially those on the front lines who face new and dangerous risks every day. Fans such as Huang Bin, a 501st member and respiratory doctor in Hangzhou, China, who often limits himself to just a few hours of rest every 36 hours, voluntarily staying at the hospital for over 2 months without ever seeing his family. And Tegan Janet Walmsley, the youngest member of the Isle of Wight 501st Garrison, who works as a nurse on the front lines for 15 hours at a time. And Sarah Cosman of the Mandalorian Mercs in Belgium, who works as a geriatric nurse in her hospital's COVID unit. Or the Rebel Legion members of Indiana, who have partnered with a local hospital to upcycle surgical fabric into medically effective masks for first responders.
I'm glad Americans
so many of you have answered the call of your countries and communities to lead this fight and to offer the one thing that Star Wars fans seem to inspire better than anyone else: hope. It's what binds our galaxy together, today and every day, as we each search for our own personal path through this challenging, unifying moment. So a heartfelt thanks to our heroes on the front lines, the doctors, nurses, scientists, and volunteers. You're not only our protectors, but also an inspiration for each of us to discover the hero within ourselves. May the Force be with you.
You guys wear masks. That was never... Hey, man. This has nothing to do with probably us so much, but for the people that got that, being in the video is a cool thing, right? But for those people that got that shout out by Mark Hamill, oh my God, I wonder, they're probably like losing it. I'm sure that's huge. Like, to be in the video and have Mark Hamill a part of it, that's of course something really cool. But to get your name shouted out by Mark Hamill, I'm sure some people have put that as like, you know, Mark Hamill saying your name is like now your like voicemail or something, or your text message or whatever, you know, on your phone. Like it's like that level of, that's pretty cool. Although the Corona thing, like I said I did a Lego Movie Corona thing because it's just what I had to do. It was just there, and I didn't feel like making long videos right now. It's my day off, so I just wanted to veg out a little bit. And yeah, I work at a store. You know, it's a, you know, and I said what it was then, and I didn't really mean to, but I did. But I work at a store that's what do they call it? Shit, I can't think of what it's now. Like I'm necessary personnel, I think is what it's considered. Which means that it doesn't really matter what's going on, unless we're like in a war. I work at a place that's always going to be open. It's an essential. It's an essential personnel or something like that. Personnel is not military, by the way. That's not what I'm saying. But still, yeah, that's what it is. And I deal with people and touching stuff all the time. And I'm not sick, but I said before, I'm not in a major city. I'm just in a minor city kind of thing. But for me, the Corona is just not an issue. I don't care about it. I don't worry about it. I just live my life and I'm good to go. For other places, it's really bad. And yeah, it's just kind of like finally the haircut places are open, and I had to put a mask on to get my haircut. Things are crazy, man. These are crazy times. These are some of the things that you saw, not to the severe extent of, like, say, World War II, but when World War II happened, let's just use that as an example, and everything was turned upside down, right? Everybody had to ration food or possibly ration food. Everybody was buying canned goods, and everybody was freaking out when it happened. I think eventually everybody got like over it. There's a lot of people that were like, you know, you still had to keep the reports coming home, so the people, you know, in America or wherever country you're at still had, you know, still believed in the war. You know, some people would dismiss it, and that happens every time. It happened, you know, in Iraq and Afghanistan in the early 2000s, where people were like, oh, this horrible thing in 9/11, and then people were like, all right, we've been over there for a long time, and people just stopped paying attention or stopped watching the news, stopped caring. It happens all the time with all kinds of disasters and wars. But like World War II, that flipped everything upside down. I mean, that was more of a national undertaking to win against the axis of evil, but still, and a little bit you can compare it to now, where people are still freaking out, still buying stuff, and pandemonium kind of set in with businesses where we just couldn't have haircuts, right? Like I went forever not having a haircut, and that's just a personal thing, right? Like toilet paper, like some people had to do a lot worse than I did, you know, for that kind of stuff. And I was fairly lucky. I mean, I rationed one roll of toilet paper for like a month almost, but yeah, it's like the fact that and it's like, again, it's not a real direct comparison either, but the point being is like you have to go somewhere and wear a mask because we're afraid of disease, and that might be like, you see that in like Japan or China when they travel through Taiwan and all that. Those areas that you see a lot of masks all the time. But the only comparison, I guess, really for me is that I'm going to remember this stupidity that's going on when I'm a lot older and my kids are growing up, and my kids are going to have no clue. Just like I had no clue what it was like to live through World War II, you know? And now I'm like living through this virus that isn't like, it's not like the bubonic plague or something, but a lot of people are acting like it. Like I lived through 9/11, and I gotta say, I actually woke up and I was scared when I watched the news. As a 13-year-old kid, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if our country was going to get, you know, if we were going to go to war, if something else was going to happen. I thought this could have been a snowball effect to something bigger, and it wasn't. And what was it, 19 years later now, I don't think about that, you know, time. I don't think about 2001 or the next 6 years. I don't remember how kind of uncertain it was. I remember being homeless because of everything that was going on in the economy, but I don't look back going, oh, those were crazy times. I don't. I've pretty much put that behind me and don't think about it at all, you know, and because it's not World War II. It's not the Middle East thing. The Middle East thing isn't even that thing anymore. It's not even a big deal when you think about it, when you think back, growing up through it. And the corona, I think, is going to be the same thing. I'm not going to give I still don't give two shits, but I'm not going to give two shits 2 years down the road. But when I'm talking to my kids, I'm like, oh yeah, people are that stupid. I had to wear a mask getting a haircut because some people were scared, you know, of the corona, which people are going to call, you know, like the super flu or something dumb. In the future, just watch, they'll do it. But I don't know, things like that are just crazy. And I'm sure in other places it's super serious. Here it's not. Here it's not a big deal. I guess I'm lucky. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Be safe out there for if you do live in a big city, if you do live anywhere that this is a thing, if you're at that age where it could, you know, really get to you, or if you don't have the immune system to stand up to stuff like that, be safe out there. Wash your hands and all that good stuff. Like I said, I touch things that thousands of customers are touching every day. You know, I'm literally touching multiple things on a minute-by-minute basis. I'm good to go, thank God. Maybe it's just because I have a really good immune system. I don't know. I literally have woken up with the flu and walked it off, you know, in hours. Maybe not literally, but yeah, I haven't been like that sick in a very long time. And even when I was as a kid that sick, it was mostly to get out of school. So, yeah, for all the people that are affected by it, you know, thoughts go out to you guys, and I hope you guys are all good to go and you're safe out there. And if you're lucky like me, at least for now, I mean, I guess it was kind of nerve-wracking at first. I was wondering if I was going to get it. I mean, my dad's also, you know, 64, you know, and I have regular interactions with him. So I definitely wash my hands. I take a shower after work, you know, because I know he may not be so lucky. Even though he has an incredible immune system as well, he's also older, and that would be horrible if he got it from me, you know. So although I may be all right for now, who knows if I could carry it to somebody else that I know, you know. So in that way, it is actually terrifying, you know, when you think about it that way. But yeah, like I said, thanks for watching, and I'm out of here. Later.